all well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It has been a while. Oh, so good to see you today. I love to see you. And yeah, guys, thank you for supporting this channel. Thanks to everyone who's watching my videos, even though I haven't posted. I think what it was last week. I hope it's not 2 previous weeks. Then it will be bad. And yeah, if you are new, welcome, welcome. I'm Tisha Oliphant, and this channel is based on 3 pillars: my work career, which is my corporate journey, my travel journey, and my investment journey. So I share what I've experienced over the years and get to understand what you've experienced. So we basically exchanging information, which exchanging knowledge. Yeah, we looking at each other's notes, seeing where can we do better. But today I want us to talk about investing for our children. Are you investing for your kids? Please do comment on the comment section. And I'm aware that there's people who don't have children, but they still have responsibilities. Guess some are guardians and some aunts, whether you're an uncle, grandmother, but you've got children that you are investing for. And please do share, where are you investing for those kids? It will be very interesting and someone else might learn. Tigisa, thank you, Sissy. Welcome. And guys, please do not forget to double tap the screen, Tata screen. Oh, was it a lady? I have no idea. Go TikTok. Tata screen. Please double tap the screen and like the video so that others can learn. Others can also share with us in case we've missed something. It doesn't cost you a penny to like someone's video, a content creator's video, not just me, mine, everyone else who's out there sharing information. It shows appreciation. It shows Ubuntu as Africans, and we truly appreciate it. So let's kickstart our sessions. And those who've already liked, thank you guys. Those who watch my ads, truly appreciates. May yours wishes come true. I'm not planning to be long. My battery won't allow me to be long anywho, because it's not where it's supposed to be. Hi Bonsile, hi Bonnie, my sweetie pie, my sweet honey. Hello city. Okay, I wrote some few notes about investing for our children. Guys, I know some of us were not born with silver spoons, so people say, hi Molly, welcome, welcome. And some people say, I can barely invest for myself, let alone my children. My take to life is, if you couldn't get to where you were heading to, hi, hello Martha, and yeah, life showed you flames when you thought this life thing was going to be much easier. At least get try for your kids. Zamela bantwana bakho. Nothing actually stops you for doing better for your children. You know, even with education wise, if you didn't become what you wanted to become, pave the way for your kids. Create something for your children. Give your children a head start. And I think the best way to do this is to invest for your children. And investing for our children comes in different forms, darlings. But today we're going to talk about monetary investment, because you can invest by teaching them respect, like certain values. You can invest by teaching your children skills. It doesn't have to be only associated with investments or money wise, mula, chelet, a dime, dollar, kwashasha matsibibi. But today we're talking kabatsibibi because this channel is exactly about that. So I always encourage people that when we talk investments, don't just wake up and put the money away when you don't know why you're doing it. Always attach all your investments to a goal, and people who've done this so beautifully and just confirmed what we always spoke about over the years. Who've always spoke about subject of investing is Time Bank, by linking goals to your like it's a investment account that they have. Because if you don't have a goal, you don't have a reason to invest. It's easy to fall short. It's easy to give up. It's easy to say, you know what, I have no idea why I'm investing in this thing, so why am I even bothered? Always have a goal. If you are investing for your children, know exactly why you're investing for your children, or if it's your child, at what stage would you want to withdraw from this particular investment? Let's make a typical example. Investments, guys, we know they are categorized short term, medium term to long term. Short term being something from one day up to maybe 3 months, and there's different timelines that are attached to it, but it's just to give you an idea. And maybe medium term will be from that 3 months to like 3 years, 5 years and above. Since I'm speaking 40 years, there is long-term investment. So when you attach to goals those particular investments that you'll be making for your children, sit down and ask yourself, ukuthi, when would I want to withdraw this money? And very important, even with your own investments, how long can I survive with this kind of money? Then it will tell you where to put it. It will actually pave a way and make life easier for you. So if you've got a newborn child or baby, infant, ask yourself, when would you need this money? If you're going to need the money when the child goes to a creche, preschool, which means when you'll be looking at a medium-term investment, because it takes about 7 years before our children goes to grade 1 or grade R, what they refer to the terms one now. But if you're saying my child is only 5 years and I'm investing for university, we know university will be after 12 years of school. Then, guys, you know, Gutige, you ought to put it under long term. Always understand, clarify, identify the goal for your children's investment. And what I want to tell you, you can start with saving for your children, because remember, there's saving and there's investing. I'm checking Gucci, all is well. And because, yeah, the shadow can show you flames. And with saving, you can do the short-term ones where you go to your banks. We all have banking in different institutions, your best or your favorite, or you can Google which bank is the best for children's savings accounts. And this is to also encourage your children to save from a younger age, is to mold and cultivate a behavior yokusaver. If whether you were never taught by your parents, use this opportunity to do that by going to your favorite bank, by going to a bank which has lesser fees, going to a bank that has better interest when it comes to children's savings account, and open one for your child. Years ago, I don't know, I haven't opened anyone, I didn't check, and sorry about that, but guys, let's learn to, once you've got, even if it's a bit of information, run with it and get more information. They used to require the children's birth certificate. They'll ask you for your own ID documents, because we don't want baga business money laundering things going on using children's names or name. So the bank has a set of required documents by FICA that will be requested from you. Proof of residential address, the whole works. We should know these things by now. We're not going to go into detail. Approach the bank, find out exactly what they require. Open that savings account for the child, and try and get a card if possible, so that, and obviously to depend on your children's age. If they are still very, very young, get something like this, a piggy bank, a kitty, a money box, whatever you want to call it. And while they're young, give them coins, teach them to, and explain why on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, if you only get paid once or you have money only once, they put the monies into this thing. But when they get to a certain stage where you give them allowance and they're able to shop for themselves, now you're also teaching them in discipline of consuming. You don't over consume and all that. Open this transactional accounts, savings account for your kids, put a certain amount on a monthly basis, encourage them to also deposit or transfer I think under for it should still be deposit a certain amount. When you give them the allowance in cash, teach them to only spoil themselves with so much and see how much they can put away. What I used to do with Ugogo was every end of the year I'll match what she would have saved throughout the year. That encourages the kids to save and learn what it means to save and invest for their future, for Christmas gifts, for their school stationery. You know, I know it's our responsibilities as parents, but kids tend to want things that are over and above and beyond the ordinary. Don't deprive them. Just tell them, this is what I can give you. If you need a Rolls Royce, you will go dig into your investment then and get the type of a pen. I mean, I'll get you a big, for instance, or a fine ballpoint. But if you want a fancy one that you buy from these stationery shops, then you will add into what I would have budgeted for your pens. And then this is just a typical example. And once you open this account, empower them by giving them the card, give them the account number, let them run with their savings. And guys, even if they go to the ATM and withdraw, it's okay. That is not for their future education. We will talk about where you will invest for serious things. This is just to teach them, discipline your investor, to start them young. Yes, but the younger the better, because you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I've tried myself, but my children are failing dismally, because who am I to come when my kids are in their 30s? And when I was saying my children, some of my children, I'm talking about you, by the way, are failing dismally. I'm not saying all of yours. There are those who are trying, but because it's hard to change your ways at an older stage or later in life. But the younger they are, the better. Equip them, assist them every month without fail. Get them to look into their statements, see how well they've done, how much they saved, and where they've fallen short. Ask them why this month they couldn't save. What were the reasons? How are they going to do better going forward? Guys, those discussions, family discussions that we should be having, not these things that don't get us far. And yeah, the teachings that children won't even be able to hold on to post when you are no longer on this earth. So yeah, we said open a savings account, and guys, remember, you can invest on behalf of your children until they are 18. After that, everything will be definitely theirs. You might not have a say. They can move their money from here to there. It will be entirely up to them. But while they are under your care, they are below 18, you will have to make sure with now you add on a monthly basis. You teach them to also invest or on their own, depending on their age, but always attach the goal. Encourage them to attach goals as well. Why are you putting this money away? Let them explain. For Christmas gifts, for a sneaker, for a PlayStation, and go with them. Let them go see what the prices are. Start them from young, so that they don't turn out like most parents who want things that are far-reached, or they don't plan way in advance. And if the child wants a PlayStation or an Xbox, you show them the price, and you sit with them, let them calculate how many months of investment they need to actually be committed to before they can buy such products. So there is empowering and imparting knowledge, your investor. to your kids. And apart from having the short-term savings, which will really, really help your children, by the time they're teenagers, they will know this wealthy investment, because I'm not sure if schools even teaches children to go to the bank and open accounts, or to have kitty bags, boxes, to budget and explain what expenses are, where income comes from, different forms of income, why we pay the fees that we pay, how much banks charges, and give them live examples. I don't think so. So it's your responsibility as a parent to take that stand and teach your kids. So apart from transactional accounts, and make sure, guys, you teach them to look after their PIN, not to share their PIN. So you're already preparing them for, the cyber world, and we know about cyber crime and all that. You'll teach them account takeover, how the fraudsters can easily approach them, age appropriate. So your conversations should be according to the children's age. Don't confuse abantwana high grade and jargon when they are still young. You upgrade your topics and discussions as they grow. And there are other forms or that you can use, or other asset classes that you can use to invest for your children. Remember, we said transactional account or savings account will be just for your day-to-day stuff, or for the gifts, for the outings, for when they go out with friends and they want to buy themselves snacks and stuff like that, or for that beautiful sneaker and all that. But then we move on to your medium term, which will be unit trusts. I will urge you to invest in unit trusts for your kids. Over the years, I find them to work well. I know some people talk about educational policies. I'm trying to think. I did invest. It wasn't a traditional educational policy. It was a goal on my side. I'm investing on this particular with this institution for my child's education. When she's 18, going to university, that investment should mature then. And then I sat down with myself, looked at my budget, how much can I afford? And this is where you start as well. Goals, how long you can keep the money, how much you can afford, because you can't invest what you don't have. And if you are currently bleeding and drowning, you ought to introduce a stream of income so that you can just dedicate it to your children. If it's one child, you can breathe much better. Depending, if you are not a single parent, it's both parents that are assisting, even better. But if it's more than one child and you are a single parent, it becomes tougher. So be realistic about what you can do. But the sooner you start with your children, the better. Invest while pregnant. And I've shared how I invested while I was pregnant, and you won't regret it, because the compound interest is something else. And we've spoken about that awesome wonder of the world. Unit trusts are the best. There are plenty. Do your research, check which ones resonates with your soul. I love Alan Gray. I've always, when I talk unit trusts, I associate them with Alan Gray. They didn't sponsor this live, except for me being their client, investing with them. I don't have a personalized private relationship. And this is not, guys, disclaimer, financial advice. If you need proper financial advice, please approach your certified financial planner or advisor or broker who has a license, preferably an independent one, who will look at all the institutions across the board and recommend and suggest accordingly. So unit trusts are the best way. ETFs, we spoke about Ilona, your easy equities. It has a portion, Yama exchange traded funds. Invest on ETFs on behalf of your children. You can invest for your kids under easy equities. There's a section where you get the brokerage account in your name, And also, you can do that for your children. Don't let them down. Maybe your parents couldn't do it for you. What have you done? Do you also want to be, want them to be, in black text, like you guys said, recipients? Empower your kids, love your kids. You wake up every morning, you work so hard, you've got a business, you're hustling, you're pushing, whatever you're doing, and you bringing in some cash, you're bringing in money. Think and have a portion for your kids. Doesn't matter if it's 50 rands every month, because for now you don't have much, or 100 or 20 or 5,000 or 500,000 on a monthly basis. Just start. We spoke now about transactional account, which is your savings account, unit trust, ETFs, bonds. The South African retail bonds, you can invest in bonds. These are asset classes that you can use, separate different asset classes. Bonds is where you now borrow money to a government. In most cases, we go and take loans and borrow money from these financial institutions. How about empowering yourself and say, I borrowed my government, or you lended your government money? How awesome is that to go to you borrow them money and they lend money from you. That's the correct way of using these words. And through bonds, there's RSA retail bonds. At one stage, I think earlier this year, I'm not sure about the interest rates as we speak, but they were paying a good, it did beat inflation, which is very important when you look at all or any investment class, is to see how about inflation? Does this investment beat inflation? So bonds should be, and even with government bonds, they come in, for the longest of time, I knew two types, which was they fixed from like 3 years upwards to 5 years, and there's inflation, not inflation, but rather interest linked, if I'm saying it correctly, but I stand to be corrected, government bonds. Go Google, check, look at the interest, invest for your children. Today is about your children, not about you. I've tried with you, I've warned others, but can I just focus on the kids, because others, they're falling off a wagon. And guys, you can also invest via gold. Buy gold for your kids. RA with Sanlam Gushumoli. Molly, you busy here with numbers and places. I'm losing focus. I wonder why Sanlam specifically. Are you promoting yourself? What is going on? Can you clarify? Because I'll delete these comments. I don't want it to be as though promoting those people. I don't want people to go to Metropolitan and invest and think I said this or I encouraged it. I'm just lost. So please clarify, because I'm going to delete your comments. Buy gold for your kids, guys. Gold, you can buy gold coins. You can buy different gold coins, Kruger Rands. I'm also looking into getting some Kruger Rands. I was shocked at how much one Kruger Rand cost, and should have gone in when the time was right, when it wasn't as hectic as it is. You can buy Elon, your crypto currencies, if you are comfortable, if you understand them. All these asset classes or investments that we're talking about, you can't just go by blindly. You ought to do your own research. You ought to consult with someone who's educated, who'll advise accordingly. These are just tips. I'm not saying rush and go buy gold when you don't have the reason. Hence, there's goals and understanding why you're doing it, and understanding the risks, because with investment there's risks. So I was just explaining what I'm currently. I get you, because then it looks as though someone is just saying go here. Okay, sis, now I'm with you, and you're doing well. So this 500,000 in 14 years plus interest, which one is that for you? Are you investing for your children on this one, or you talking about your own investment? Because today it's about your children. So guys, I was still saying yeah, with gold, go guys, invest for your kids. You won't go wrong. And what tends to happen is that when the market is down, you find good see gold will hold on, so you can still have an investment that is not doing so bad. It balances your investment nicely. And then when we, before I carry on, I've done a video. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Is Stash, how to invest in Stash. It's a an investment via an app that you download on your phone, which is provided by eLiberty. They're also not sponsoring this video, but you can invest on behalf of your children through Stash as well. These investments, always ask, is it just for me, or can I open another one for my kids? You know how awesome it will be. You've got a Stash and ngapha you stashing for your kids at the same time. You've got unit trust and you've got unit trusts going on for your kids. You've got gold that you've bought, different types, different sorts, coins, crypto, you name it. And you also have coins and gold and all that for your children as well. So always pose a question, Gutsi, can I invest for my children? Because the sooner we bring our children into the picture, the better, guys, the better. Why other children are excelling? Because their parents, their families place them first. You know, I've spoken to you, Guti, just 1 year, instead of buying a toy, instead of going for a spare lunch, just give your children a certificate, ETF. Just give your children gold coins and say, this year I'm gonna cook for you at home and gift you with unit trusts. It will make a huge difference. And then they don't start with on a zero or on a minus in terms of a must study student loans. Let's empower our children. Let's empower our children. I've been paying 3K a month towards my children's TFSA for the past 5 years. Thanks, Molly. There's a typical example, on the right track, proud and continuously. Don't lose it. So Stash, you can, while you're stashing, and Stash, we've spoken about it in detail. I'm not going to go into detail. It's sitting in one of the videos. Just search the Stash. You'll find your mom looking beautiful. It is always explaining about his Stash. Yeah, self-praise goes a long way. And look into doing that for your kids. And with Stash, there's like, starts with goals from 1 cent up to day 365, where it increases on a daily basis. We Stash when it's sunny, you can activate those. There's different challenges. Those challenges, Stash, you top up. We spoke. Do the same for your children. And if you can only do 20 rands a month for your kids under your Stash, it is okay. 10 rands, it is okay. The minimum. But guys, I promise you, when they reach age 15, that money will be something that will leave you shocked for life. That money will be something that your children will remember you for the rest. It will give them options. Guys, it's all about options. It's all about freedom. You know, being able to say, let me go study further. Not having to work even when your back is broken. You can feel good, your soul is damaged. But because your parents didn't invest for you, there's nothing to even work with. You are forced to continue. Let's just pave a better way or streets for our kids. So yeah, we spoke about Stash. And the ones that I covered, from bonds to gold to unit trusts, ETFs, they will fall under medium-term investments. But depending, there's also fixed deposits with the banks, under that savings portions, short-term, look into that. And even with fixed deposits, they come in different time frames. You can get the one which is money market accessible anytime, which I'll discourage. If you're investing for your children, make sure, Guti, you don't have excess. You automate those investments so that they go in without fail when you get paid, when you get money at a certain date and time that is known to you, because we all get money in different times and in different forms. Let's talk now long-term investment for our children. We can invest for our children for long term. We've spoken about short term, spoke about medium term. Let's speak now about long term. What is long term investment? In your case, we know now we're talking our retirement, eh? Because that is long term, but again, depending on how far you are, it can't be long term if you are already 55. But we're talking children, we're talking newborns, we're talking children in preschool, children in primary. Hopefully, they're not in high school yet, but there's still time for them, even if they're in high school. Long term investment will be the retirement fund. You can invest for your children using what Molly is currently using, the TFSA, tax-free investments accounts which are offered for South Africans by South Africa. So guys, you take advantage of that. I wouldn't suggest you invest in any TFSA account on behalf of your kids if you'll be chowing that money every time you don't have milk in your cupboard, every time you run out of milk. Use the TFSA, I'm saying it louder, only for long-term investments for your children, only for your retirement goals. Or on behalf of your children. Guys, I hope we are clear, because you don't mess up with your limit. You lose a lot, even with your own investment. Only aim to use ETFSA where you know what you're going to leave this money to grow over time. You're going to let the growth increase, because that growth and that the portion contribution yakho will be tax-free. And as South Africans, we know we pay tax for a lot of things. So you get taxed even with the interest that we earn in our investments. And for children, they are exempt, because they don't earn income. Therefore, the minimum is 23,800, I wrote it here, per annum, the way you start being taxed on interests from an investment. So you can see, Guti, because children don't pay pay as you earn, the tax that is attached to an income, they've got a big advantage. So don't misuse it, don't abuse it. Use the TFSA only for long-term investments for your kids to benefit. You can get a retirement annuity on behalf of your children, even if the child is 1 year old and they'll only be retiring at 60. So imagine, it's at 55. They have like 54 years for you to just put away, even if it's 100 rands, guys, over 55 years, over 50 years. You know how many millions the child will get. Making sure that you put it in the right investment with good returns, with much less fees, because fees can chow the returns horribly so, or interest on that investment horribly so. Just be cautious. So get an RA for your child. Even if your child is only 7, 10, 15, you would have saved and assisted them big time. This is long-term investment, and get it to be tax-free. Remember, we've got a limit of 500,000 per person per lifetime. So your contributions plus your returns your contribution should not exceed 500,000 in that lifetime. So if you start now putting away that, I can't say the month or annual limits, because how many people have like the 36,000, for instance, to just send to their child annually? Whatever the amount, guys, just try assisting. And when they turn 18, you can hand over to them, explain to them the T's and C's, why you chose a tax-free, why they should continue until retirement. Discourage them from withdrawing and cashing out that money. explain what disadvantage they'll be doing to themselves in case of tax implications. Because for me, TFSA is the best thing that ever happened to us. It's a pity people don't use it the way they should take full advantage of it. Since you've got the information, do it for your children from as young as newborn infants, as young as 14-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 20 you can't, they have to do it themselves, up to 18 years. And another one besides the retirement annuity, and get proper advice, which in terms of which company provides the best RA, and I'm not going to share which one I think is the best, because I'm a financial advisor who's trying to sell you. I've explained with unit trust, when it comes to unit trust, for me, Alan Gray is the boy that has to be reckoned with, a boy that has to be looked into the eyes. It's what a handsome man in terms of RA. In terms of unit trusts, with RA, guys, go do your research. If you are a proper researcher, you should know by now which company or institution is the best when it comes to RAs, not only for your children, for yourselves as well. In terms of lesser fees, we always don't want to pay much, because then it erodes our investments, and also the best returns that you will get. So get an RA for your kids. The next one, get the I'm trying to think now, which one did I buy? I write here. Yes, get one of these TFSAs, but make sure, Gucci, it is for long term. You're not gonna cash it. Whether you get one a tax-free investment account via unit trusts, for medium term, you can get any unit trust, even if it has it takes a part attached to it. But long term, make sure Uguchi it is tax-free, so that your child, and always know you can't exceed 500,000. And imagine, guys, you invest up to 300,000, or you take your kids to the halfway mark, 250,000 lifetime. And when you hand it over at 18, you tell them they only left to contribute that half, 250, half of what you've already contributed. You've set them free. And if you do it much quicker, you do it at age 2, you've got 16 years. 16 years. And if you are a disciplined parent, you earn well, you've got multiple streams of income, and it's not always about the income, guys. You've got less expenses, manageable expenses, you're living way below your means. You can even invest the annual limits on an annual basis. So by the time they turn 18, how much are you going to hand over? It could even be their gift, as other parents are giving their children at 18 a house, a property, or giving their children a car, the children's first car, or golds, or whatever. When you can hand over a retirement annuity, you can hand over investment that is attached to the children's retirement, and it's tax-free, and you ensure they don't pay tax, because you must always find investments where you pay less tax. Tax kills us, guys. It's just like the fees that are attached, taxes was to the investments. The best is the investment is the one where you pay less tax, is the one where you pay less fees, is the one that gives you reasonable returns, which beats inflation. I think we are on the right track. I don't want to prolong this to an hour, and I want to say goodbye with so much zeal and energy before I go on and on and on. And yeah, annual lifetime, we spoke about that. The interest is exempt up to 23,800 rands per annum, even your own interest on your investments. Over and above that, Gucci, you need to declare, you need to pay. Remember, there's also interest for dividends if you're investing in stock, but this is just to share that. There's also interest, which is called capital gain interest, CGT, tax, sorry, these are taxes. Taxes for dividends, taxes for interest that you earn on investments, taxes that you have to pay every time there's a capital gain tax. And always, in terms of capital gain tax, also applies when you're selling a property. It will attract that amount, finally, your cookie tax SARS. So before you invest for your children, because we're talking purely children today and don't want to bring parents into this equation, we'll mess up everything. Always check the fees. First things first, speak to someone who's knowledgeable, who knows what they're talking about, whose accolades speaks for themselves, their skills, the qualifications, academically they're inclined, and ask the right questions. How much will this investment get me in this time? According to your goal, when would you want to cash it? Will it be for your child's car to deposit a car? Will it be for your child's first apartment, taking your child overseas for the first time? Always attach a goal and ask the right questions. What are the fees? What are the disadvantages? What are the risks? Because all investments have risks, and it's low, medium, or high. And can you lose everything if you invest in this particular investment class? Ask the right question. But in closing, do not sleep in investing for your children. The sooner you do it, the better. And you would have set them free for life to have better choices, to have time. And time is everything, where you decide when to do what with your own time. And your kids can only have such privilege when you, as a parent, have them in mind. You don't just bring them to this earth and think they'll fend for themselves, or by some miracle their lives will come together. You put in the work. The smaller amount that you're going to contribute as years and days and months go by, you sit, you check, and don't leave it for years and wake up one day and say, oops, I only earned 4% for the past 20 years. That's not an investor. You're like a gambler. On a yearly basis or every 6 months, you take that investment, you see how it's going. If it's not serving you, switch, pay it up, do what's right according to our directions with financial planner. I hope this was clear, and I hope you will consider your kids. They're not just around for chores. They're not around for you to be shouting and screaming at them. They're not around for you to say how heavy they are and expensive they are, or only focus on their expenses in terms of food, clothing, school fees, transportation. But they are here for you to make sure you invest for them, especially for their future. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for sharing everything that you always do. And may the Almighty God continue to bless you, especially today on this blessed Sunday. And stay blessed. Mwah.